I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but you can probably assume it's the case, but I like me some old games. But not just old console games from the early mid-90s and all that kind of stuff. I like me some old PC games too. So here I am about to play an old favorite that did not age very well. I'm in the DOS box, so let's get this going. Ah, damn it. You know what? It didn't save the settings. Okay, I gotta... hold on. Alright. Let's do this thing. Oh, the introduction didn't play. Okay.
In the Age of Chaos, two factions battled for dominance. The kingdom of Azeroth was a prosperous one. The humans who dwelled there turned the land into a paradise. The Knights of Stormwind and the clerics of Norsha Abbey roamed far and wide, serving the king's people with honor and justice. The well-trained armies of the king maintained a lasting peace for many generations. Then came the Orcish hordes. No one knew where these creatures came from, and none were prepared for the terror that they spawned. Their warriors wielded axe and spear with deadly proficiency, while others rode dark wolves as black as the moonless night. Unimagined were the destructive powers of their evil magics, derived from the fires of the underworld. With an ingenious arsenal of weaponry and powerful magic, these two forces collide in a contest of cunning, intellect, and brute strength, with the victor claiming dominance over the whole of Azeroth. Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
Despite being welcomed to the world of Warcraft, we are actually playing Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, the first game in the series, and it's very different than what a majority of the people who are a fan of this series are probably used to, because it is not a role-playing game, it is a real-time strategy. Let's do this thing. I'm going to play a custom game. I don't want to do the campaign, because the campaign will take forever. I'm going to go and be an orc, because orcs are awesome. You know what? I just want to make sure that I have a good crew set up when I start this. Set map. I don't know. I don't remember what any of these are, so I'll just do it like that. Boom. Oh my god, this looks terrible. Loptar. Dabble. Dabble. Okay, as you can see, hold on, there we go. This game is very different than probably what you'd even remember if you were a fan of this game, because everything is slow as hell, and what we are doing is playing a real-time strategy, where the majority of the effort you're going to have to put into this comes in the form of resource management, as opposed to leveling up your characters and all that kind of stuff, like a lot of real-time strategy games make. I gotta find my gold mine, because that is the primary resource that you're going to be working with. There we go. Okay, I've found my resource, and now I have to go and just start building up my army. Now this is my town. I have a town hall, and I have one farm, which has just enough food for me to sustain the army that I have. I'm gonna take this guy, and I'm going to make him construct another farm so I can start building up my crew. There we go. Double, build that thing. I'm also gonna need to build a barrack so I can train more soldiers. Now the three resources you have to deal with in this game are lumber, the primary resource that you have to be concerned with, gold, as well as food. Food isn't shown at the top. Essentially doing anything requires at least one or two of these resources. For example, training a grunt, one of these guys, requires gold and food. Training a spearman, which is a a ranged attacker, is going to require a combination of all three. Okay, I do not have enough lumber to build a barracks yet. So I'm going to leave my soldiers my grunts no, rather my peons do this. Cool thing about the guys harvesting lumber is they actually cut down trees, and we can start building stuff into this area if we really feel like it. Also, one of the kind of irritating things about this game, though, is your town has to be built around a series of roads. So I can only build a building adjacent to a road. So I'm going to expand my road a little bit, so when I build my barracks I can build it down here, so I'm not blocking access to my peon to the gold mine. Now I'm going to need quite a bit more gold in order to start doing anything. Well, I mean, I got plenty of gold to build a barracks, but it's not good enough. I'm grown 9, used 5, so I can also train another peon and use this one to start doing all of my building, and once he's done building, he'll go to mining gold. Now, what I really like about this isn't so much the gameplay, because the AI isn't very good, the game runs very slow, all that kind of stuff. All of them is taking the training single peon. What I really like is the storyline, because although it doesn't have a whole lot of characterization or anything like that this early in the series, it really did set the tone for what would eventually be a really good story that they have for the Warcraft series. In this game, you play, well, I mean, I'm playing as the Orcs. It's actually, the Orcs, I believe, are actually the more difficult race to play as. You can either be Orcs or humans, and you're telling the story, damn it, it's telling the story of a war between Orcs and humans. Started when a majority of the story was relayed through the instruction manual, actually, which is a little bit weird, but it's what a lot of the stuff did back then, where it explains the backstory, and then once you get into the game, during the opening, mission briefing, they give you some information about what was going on in the story of the game, like this is happening in the war, this is your mission, and all that kind of stuff. But it relays some aspects of the story, but the majority of it came in through the instruction manual. So what's happening is a human, something called a guardian, which wasn't really, not too much information was really given in the game as to what the hell a guardian is actually supposed to be. A guardian, this woman, comes into the world of Azeroth. Actually, it was a country called Azeroth, a kingdom, this early in the game, in the series, and decides that she's going to retire. Now, a guardian is supposed to obviously be some sort of a guardian. I can train grunts now. Basic foot soldier. A guardian is supposed to just guardian things, you know, as generic an explanation as I can get there, and that's really all that you were provided. She decides she wants to retire, but the only person she will be willing to retire to is someone who she feels is capable of sustaining her role. So she decides to have a child. Now, being a really powerful magic user, she goes and seduces ah shit, I'm being attacked. Both of my grunts have been killed. Kill that archer. Ah, shit. Oh, damn. I was not prepared for that. I think I'll be okay, as long as I can get a steady stream of grunts trained. They didn't take out any of my peons, so I think I'll be okay, as long as I can get this grunt built before they destroy my barracks. Peons are defenseless, so I can't use them for combat. Come on. Ah shit, I'm about to die. Kill him! Oh, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll be dead soon. Okay, yeah, I was not prepared for this. I spent too much time training peons instead of training grunts to defend my borders. Anyway, this guardian goes and seduces a conjurer in Azeroth in order to go and have some sort of have an offspring. A child named Medivh was eventually what was.
Blackhand has assigned you to an outpost in the swamps.
I'll just do this for a while.
Your task is simple enough that even the war chief feels that you are capable of it. Construct at least 6 farms so that we may keep our troops well fed and ready to do battle. Only a fool would leave his treasures unguarded, so you must also build a barracks for the defense of these farms. Okay, that's the mission briefing for the first mission. Look at this weird mist-looking scene here. Basically the same thing, only I'm not going to be facing an enemy town. Just have to go and set up farms and barracks and all that kind of crap. But anyway, the child she ends up having is named Medivh, and she basically abandons the child with its father to be raised, while she went and supposedly died or something like that, but she didn't actually. Well, the second train of peon here. What ended up happening was Medivh, when he was born, fell into a coma and stayed into a coma for a number of years. And after all that happened, Medivh eventually woke up once, I guess, his body became acclimated to the amount of power that he had, because Medivh was an extraordinarily powerful wizard. When he woke up, he basically pledged his allegiance to the King of Azeroth, this King Lane, as he was called. I think that might have been his first name, not his last name. Now, unbeknownst to everybody, Medivh was actually batshit crazy. Instead of just going and, you know, doing all the, like, good stuff you're supposed to do, pledge his allegiance to the king and all that kind of stuff, he went and had some extracurricular activities. What he did was he reached out in his mind to another world where the Orcs were and said, you know what, I want you to come into Azeroth and just kill all these humans. Why? I'm not going to explain that. I'm just evil. Go and do it. Orcs like, hey, you know what? I'll kill a bunch of people. I love killing. So that's what they did. Medivh opened up the dark portal, and the Orcs came through and just started murdering. And that was the idea of what was going on in Warcraft. It was eventually found out that Medivh was consorting with the Orcs, and he was executed. Not executed, they broke into his tower and killed him. But by that point, the war had pretty much been lost for the humans. Now, through this campaign, you are playing, although it's never revealed in this game, you're playing as a soldier named Orgrim Doomhammer. And Orgrim Doomhammer was basically like just some soldier that was working under Chief Blackhand, the war chief of the Horde, with the support of this group called the Shadow Council. Shadow Council was later revealed to be a bunch of warlocks in Warcraft 2. And when it became clear that Blackhand had basically overextended himself, Orgrim Doomhammer, your character, eventually plots a coup against him, kills him, and takes control of the Horde. Now, the Orcs needed a strong leader, which is what Blackhand was, because Orcs are generally pretty stupid, and the war against the humans didn't work out very well. But this game doesn't really get too far into the backstory of that. Eventually, though, as the game goes on, then most of the events that occur in the Orc campaign are the ones that actually are sort of like the canon storyline of the series. The Orcs come through the portal with Medivh's assistance, wage war against the humans of Azeroth, eventually defeat them, and the Orcs win the war. Sparkplug, what? Oh, resource gathering takes forever. Sparkplug. But as well as some events that occurred in the human campaign as well, such as the human breaking into Medivh's castle and killing him. Those events happened as well. So what really happened, like as far as history of the game series goes, is some combination of both human and orc campaigns. The death of Medivh, the death of Blackhand's daughter, all that kind of stuff factored into the overall story, although later games in the series ended up changing a lot of the events. But by the time this game ends, you as Orgrim Doomhammer are war chief of the Horde. You have defeated the humans of Azeroth, and the war is basically over. And all that's really left to do is for you to go and be like the badass. And that's when Warcraft 2 picks up, which maybe I'll play some of that later. But right now, I have a small base to build. So I'm going to have this peon do it. I have enough gold. I'm going to build my barracks. I don't have to build a powerful army right now, so I'm not going to bother laying out a better town. Although I do need more wood. I'm going to get this last peon on chopping duty. Find some forest and start cutting it down. There we go. Everything takes forever. How many farms I need to build? 6? Oh, jeez, it's going to take forever. I don't even think I have enough gold for that. It takes forever. It takes longer to harvest wood than it does gold. And wood may actually be a greater resource because there's forest everywhere. It is harder. It takes more time to harvest it. 3. I need one more. In fact, actually, there isn't even a whole lot of gold in this map, but it's enough. Oh, jeez, these guys are harvesting the same way. By the time one of them finishes, he's going to... But anyway. How much wood did I need? Yeah, 300. I'll just let them go for a little while. Double. I get my grunts together. Mine's gone. It was the last of the gold. Don't need any more though. So I'm gonna make you start building me my farms. And my grunts will go and explore the area, perhaps get killed. I don't really care at this point. Spark plugs. 18 minutes, really? Wow. Later games in the series, I mean, this wasn't the first real-time strategy game I'm aware of. That may have been like Command & Conquer or Doom or something like that. Kill him, what are you doing? But it's definitely the first that I had ever played. And it's also one that, I have to say, has not aged particularly well. Because everything is so slow. You need DOSBox to run it. It's not particularly balanced very well. Like, for example, I'm playing as the Orcs. Now, the Orcs and the humans both have very similar, work very similar to each other as far as how the game they play. Like, the human archer is similar to the orc spear thrower. The human footman is similar to, or pretty much identical to the orc grunt. But there are 2 changes that I'd say are pretty significant, and they come from the forms of the magic users. The clerics on the human side are more powerful or more useful utility-wise than the necrolytes of the orcs. I don't have that technology available to me at this point in the game. But the human clerics are capable of healing the injuries of soldiers, whereas the necrolytes of the orcs are... Scrolls too fast, damn. The necrolytes of the orcs are capable of resurrecting the dead of I don't don't have enough gold to do this. Resurrecting the dead that have fallen in battle. Now, they're not resurrecting them permanently. All they really do is create some fairly weak units called skeletons. And the skeletons won't survive very long, regardless of whether they're fighting or not. They don't take many hits, and a skeleton is less useful than a healed up, say, footman or knight or archer. So, score 1 for the orcs being less powerful for the humans. One thing that the orcs do have very late in the game that makes up for this fact to some degree is the fact that the orc warlocks, as opposed to the human conjurers, have the ability to summon large, powerful demons, whereas humans summon something called a water element, which is it's still a powerful unit, and it has a little bit of a range, can attack enemies from a couple of spaces away, but its ability to take damage and receive damage is less. So it's difficult to... in the water elemental fighting a demon, the demon's gonna win. The demon's a bit more useful. But that's only very late in the game, and for technologies that I don't even have at this point. And, it just... this map is much bigger than I thought. I'm trying to find a gold mine so I can continue to mine. I need to build one more farm, and I need 300 more gold to do it. Anyway, I consider the humans to be a little bit more powerful in this game, which is weird because I actually prefer playing as the orcs. Now in Warcraft 2, I prefer playing as the orcs, even though I prefer playing as the humans, even though the orcs are somewhat more powerful in that case. So it's weird. Doesn't really make any sense why, but I just prefer that. Warcraft 3, during the campaign, you're actually required to play as all sides. Spark plugs, kill that archer, because there's a gold mine. Get over there and start killing. Okay. Make sure the area is secure. Okay, I'm gonna have all of these guys mining gold, because that crap's far away. It's gonna take them a while to do this. And my one grunt is near dead, but oh well. Now, and a large, later on in the game, these campaigns can actually take quite a while. These campaign scenarios can take hours to complete, mostly because the characters move so slowly. If I were playing this campaign to completion, I would end up having these characters chop down all of these trees and probably a bunch of other ones somewhere else, and maybe even mine this mine completely dry. So, it's kind of ridiculous how long some of these missions take. Warcraft 2 sped the gameplay up quite a bit. To good effect, I think, making it much more reasonable for you to mine your way, hack and slash your way through the environment. That's enough gold. I just need to... I do have enough. There we go. Once this farm's finished, then this mission should be over. And I can quit this episode. Ah, shit. Get up there and kill him. What are you doing, dumbass? Ah. Okay, they're both almost dead. So I'm going to stop exploring and just let this happen. Ooh, I am victorious.
Be
feel the bones crunching beneath your feet is confirmation of your awesome victory.
Thanks. Wasn't even an enemy town to destroy. It took that long.
Like the stinging of
Yeah,
a wasp,
okay, I'm not gonna
the
watch
attacks
this.